probably spend the majority of my free cash flow on musical instruments and video game things. So today what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and restore this controller. It works just fine, however, the joystick is really loose. So the fix that I'm going to incorporate today is I'm going to swap the stick box from this working Wii Nunchuck with the purple GameCube controller to see if I can bring it back to its former glory. I already got most of the sticker residue off. As you can see, there's still a little bit there, but I cleaned off the outside and now it's time to get to the internals. The first thing that I have to do is unscrew both the Nunchuck and the GameCube controller. After I've done that, you'll notice that I will be cleaning the controller with some alcohol and cotton swabs and some paper towels. As I was cleaning this, I couldn't believe how grimy it was. In fact, this controller probably hasn't been cleaned in 15 years since it was bought. I remember when we were kids, my dad went out to GameStop and he bought this controller and we never used it because it was broken since we bought it. So this will be a welcome sight to see if this Wii Nunchuck can actually fix this controller and make it new again, or like new. To get to the actual analog stick, I was examining the back of the controller to see exactly how to remove wires, and there's this little bracket that holds in the I'll call it the shoulder button clicker area PCBs, and I was being extra careful to understand how it was put together so that I wouldn't rip any wires. And now, as you'll notice, I'm using a guitar pick to pry open the shell of the Wii Nunchuck so I can take a look to see what's inside there, and I'm noticing that they are very similar stick boxes, so I'm thinking that it will work. What I just did there was I pre-tinned it so that the iron would create a better contact with the solder that's on the PCB. I'm noticing though that I don't really have a good station, so that's why I'm using Scotch tape to try and keep things held together. And that blue thing that you see in my hand, that is called a solder sucker. And what it does is when the solder is liquefied, it pretty much just sucks the solder off the PCB to make it a lot easier to clean. I also have a soldering wick, but that doesn't seem to work as well, especially not for a lot of solder. So this solder sucker is a real good tool for getting solder off the board. What just happened there was I was trying to open up the stick boxes to switch the internal pieces so that I could have the same metal casing on my GameCube controller, but I later realized that I spent about an hour or two trying to pry open those boxes and figure out what was inside, only to realize afterwards that I didn't need to open the stick boxes because they actually are compatible. All I had to do was solder it back into place. So I could have just swapped them from the GameCube PCB to the Wii Nunchuck PCB, but instead I opened them up and messed around with them, and it took me a couple hours to figure out how to, one, put them back together, and two, those are really teeny pieces, so they kept falling out of place and it required a lot of dexterity, so that was kind of frustrating. But at the same time, I think it was beneficial because in the case that I don't have a Wii Nunchuck replacement and I want to cannibalize a GameCube controller stick box with this similar stick box, then I'll be able to understand how to open it next time and how to transfer those pieces or those working pieces to a stick box that I want. Alright, it's time to test this refurbished controller with Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'm in no way a pro, but we'll see how it works. Feels nice. Let's see. Oh, it feels so nice. We'll just make him no projectiles. Here, slow guy. And let's see if I can do all the technical stuff. Wave dash. Oh. All right. The final step is to figure out how to put the Wii Nunchuck back together. I should not have taken them apart. I know that now in the future I don't need to do that. So, tinkering with this now. I had to cut off the contacts of the box because they wouldn't fit in this orientation, so then I figured that that was ground, so then I just placed the solder in the joints where it belonged, and it'll be a miracle if it works. Let's see. Oh, actually it does work. So this Wii remote, if I can figure out how to stick it back together, is a functional Wii remote now. Wow. Wow is. Where's my key? Oh, there it is. Good. The stick box, I applied it on upside down and I didn't need to cut anything. So it wouldn't be a tie project DIY if something bad didn't happen. So it looks so ugly right now because I had to create jumper wires because I cut off the contacts. So there's the jumper wires, but it works now.